que hable en un paso moderado para poder mantener la integridad de su mensaje. Si usted habla muy rápido, verá esta señal que significa, por favor, hable en un paso lento y moderado. Si usted habla muy bajito, verá esta señal, por favor, que alce la voz. Si usted necesita el equipo de interpretación, por favor, pase a nuestra mesa y le enseñaremos cómo usarlo. Gracias. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, ¿así me escuchan bien? Perfecto. Entonces vamos a empezar. Gracias por estar hoy a esta cuarta reunión de la coalición donde se han hecho grandes cambios. En verdad es algo, gracias a su esfuerzo, a su participación, a su presencia, y les vamos a dar, tenemos el honor de tener aquí al asambleísta Greg Hart, que gracias por su tiempo y por su, ahora sí que por estar aquí presente, y también a Cristina, ¿verdad?, que es parte también del asambleísta, y también pues en el Concilio de Guadalupe. Les voy a dar un poquito de resumen de lo que hemos logrado de la coalición para que también estén un poquito actualizados. La presentación, primeramente una de las presentaciones que vamos a hacer próximamente es el foro de la comunidad y donaciones para las familias. Va a ser el 9 de diciembre, va a ser de 5:30 a 7:30 en la cafetería de la Junior High School El Camino, y se darán donaciones de familias. Y también va a haber una presentación de Brenda de salud mental y del departamento de policía del sargento Díaz, porque sabemos que ahorita las personas que están mucho en riesgo son las personas que tienen crímenes, ¿verdad? Entonces ahí el sargento Díaz se va a encargar de decir precisamente las consecuencias del DUI, es decir, de manejar bajo la influencia del alcohol, drogas, del uso de armas ilegales, porque hay muchas armas ilegales en menores de edad. Entonces nos va a dar una actualización, y sobre todo de las pandillas también, cómo los papás pueden identificar a sus hijos si están o son parte, o a lo mejor los están reclutando para las pandillas. Entonces es muy importante esa presentación, y la idea pues de esa presentación es ayudar a la comunidad a que se siga portando bien. No queremos que se porten mal, ¿verdad? Después también PAN está coordinando la recaudación de donaciones. PAN, que es de la organización Indivisible, ya hicimos previamente reuniones privadas, y ella pues también vamos a hacer una dinámica, como vieron en la agenda, están sus plumas y están yo sé que ya hicimos una antes, pero ahorita la vamos a hacer como más enfocado a las fiestas de diciembre, ¿verdad? Vamos a hacer esa dinámica para que ustedes también compartan con nosotros sus ideas. Y Pal es nuestra coordinadora de donaciones, y nos estamos apoyando mucho en ella porque ella es especialista en eso. Y también ella nos está ayudando a hacer acuerdos con los bancos locales que brindan servicio de notaría a bajo costo o gratis, porque queremos que las familias también hagan su plan familiar, ¿verdad? Es bien importante que sigan haciendo su plan familiar, pero una de las barreras económicas era precisamente el notario, ¿verdad? Que hay muchos trámites que piden realmente notarios, hay otras que no, como en las escuelas, que ya lo sabemos, pero sí es importante también el costo, porque estábamos hablando que los notarios estaban cobrando 80, 100, 120 por niño, y si son 4 niños es un gasto muy enorme. Entonces PAM se está encargando de hacer esa conexión con los bancos, porque los bancos tienen ese servicio, por si no lo sabían, a sus clientes. Es decir, si usted es parte del banco del Chase o de determinado banco, les dan ese servicio completamente gratis. Entonces PAN nos está ayudando con eso, que es muy bueno. Además que obviamente también llevó un entrenamiento donde varios integrantes de aquí de la coalición hicieron para saber cómo hacer un plan familiar, ¿verdad? Después también tenemos los talleres educativos que Brenda, nuestra psicoterapeuta, está dando. Ella, pues la finalidad es ayudar a las personas en general, porque sufren de ansiedad migratoria, miedos, racismo y deportaciones y separación de familias, o también si uno quiere, ¿verdad? Porque yo en lo personal sí lo he tomado, porque sí es algo que te impacta mucho las historias. que uno escucha, y yo sobre todo que estoy mucho en contacto, en verdad sí, yo le dije también a las voluntarias, tenemos que tomarlo, y Brenda ha hecho un excelente trabajo. Entonces el próximo miércoles todos están invitados si quieren ir, no es necesariamente para las familias impactadas por los arrestos, sino para todos, porque todos necesitamos nuestra terapia con tanto estrés y tantos cambios que se están dando en la información. Entonces, y también démosles un aplauso a One Community Action, aquí a Abel, que es nuestro director ejecutivo y que está dando ese espacio, en verdad, completamente gratis para que todas esas familias vayan a un lugar seguro. Él luego la primera vez dijo, yo quiero dar ese espacio, y ahí estamos haciendo prácticamente las reuniones de la coalición, que también tenemos ya un espacio donde podamos tener reuniones internas para planear cada mes con mes. Entonces esos son de los logros que hemos hecho, pero lo principal es su presencia, porque yo sé que cada uno representa un liderazgo en su comunidad, cada uno representa esa fortaleza que necesitamos para todos, porque realmente todos en ciertas formas estamos impactados porque tenemos un vecino, un amigo, alguien que está impactado por estas situaciones tan fuertes, ¿verdad? Entonces, gracias a ustedes por estar aquí, y también quiero agradecer a nuestros donadores One Community Action, que ya como lo nombré, a Cancún Foundation, a The Food Santa Bárbara, a Baby Nutrition y Botánica San Judas, y J&E Cleaning Services, que son parte de nuestros donadores y que hacen posible todo esto, ¿verdad? Desde la comida, los snacks, las sodas, porque todo significa pues gasto, pero gracias a ellos pues lo seguimos haciendo esta coalición. Y en diciembre no vamos a tener una reunión de coalición porque también muchos quieren salir de viaje y descansar, pero sí vamos a tener el foro y iniciamos en enero, pero eso lo vamos a dar más adelante. Entonces damos la bienvenida a la asambleísta Greg Hart, que va a venir a dar nuestra presentación precisamente de cómo ha apoyado a los inmigrantes en este año, destacando sus logros y su significado para las familias, y seguido de un resumen de su papel en sus esfuerzos legislativos que ha ayudado a conseguir. Nosotros en lo particular, en lo personal, lo aprecio mucho porque siempre está con la comunidad y siempre me lo encuentro en los eventos de Santa María, y me alegra mucho tenerlo aquí hoy. Para mí es un honor presentarlo. Bienvenido, asambleísta.
Well, thank you.
Gracias.
Ready? How's that? Can you folks hear me? I guess I need to speak up a little bit.
¿Escucha bien?
Thank you, Claudia, for that fabulous introduction. I was in Santa Maria, I guess about a month ago, and I do sidewalk office hours where I invite people from the community to come out and meet with me at the in front of the Santa Maria City Hall and the library. And Claudia came and invited me to come and speak with you tonight. And as I'm sure everybody here in this room knows, you can't say no to Claudia. Why would you want to? She is a dynamo and a real treasure for this community, helping to communicate with all the residents in Santa Maria Valley. And her family is here representing her as well, her husband and her son taking care of business. As Claudia mentioned, my name is Greg Hart. I am the California State Assembly member that represents this part of California in Sacramento. My job is to go to the legislature to try and create new laws and policies that benefit our community and all of us. It's a big job, and I'm very fortunate to have an amazing staff person here with me. Christina Hernandez represents our office here in Santa Maria. Please give a round of applause to Christina. She is an incredible leader in her own right. She's a member of the Guadalupe City Council and has been working for me for the past couple of years. Does a tremendous job and is a visible presence of our office here in Santa Maria. On Broadway, we have an office. So if you have any issues with the state of California that you need help with, if we could put you in touch with folks who can provide services or assistance, we're ready and able to do that, and it's a big part of our job, and Christina's really good at it too. It's an honor to be with you. I love the collaboration and the coalition that you are here part of. I was a former county supervisor working for the Santa Barbara County residents in my previous job, and had a really close working relationship with Santa Barbara County Public Health and all the nonprofit organizations that are part of the service umbrella that really looks out for people in our community. My job was particularly interesting and difficult because I was the chair of the Board of Supervisors when the COVID pandemic happened, and tried to provide up-to-date information to all of us as it was coming to me. And it was a very difficult time for all of us, but I think what we learned is that together we can do really anything that we need to do as a community. Whatever adversity is thrown at us, if we link arms and really work together, we can take care of each other. And that it is a difficult time now. It's a different time. It's not the medical emergency that we experienced with COVID, but it is frankly a crisis in our community. We're facing very, very difficult challenges, and we need to remember that we can get through this too. That is, there are going to be more difficult moments going ahead, I think, sadly, before we can get things back on the right path. But I know that being determined and being focused and working together, we can achieve the things that we're trying to do for our community. It is not something that any of us are welcoming. I don't think any of us voted to have what's going on right now, but here we are, and we have to adjust to that. And just to give you a little highlight about what the state of California has been trying to do to fill in the gaps as our federal government is stepping away from its responsibilities. Even before President Trump was elected, our governor recognized that there was a great threat from this new administration coming into office. So he called the legislature into a special session to try and address some of the things that we needed to take care of even before the new administration took office in January. We provided $25 million to the California Attorney General, who represents us on the legal front in the state of California, so that they would be prepared to file lawsuits against the federal administration when they violated the law. It's not a partisan thing, it's not a political thing, it's simply if the federal government is breaking the law, the California Attorney General wants them to follow the law, and they are filing lawsuits on a daily basis. In fact, at one point, President Trump had been in office 38 weeks, and the Attorney General had filed 44 federal lawsuits to stop unjust federal actions that were happening that affected California residents. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg, because not only are there suits initiated by the state of California through the Attorney General, there are nonprofit organizations all around the state that are also filing suit that the Attorney General is assisting with, and there are national organizations and Attorney Generals in other states too that they are working collaboratively together. So, we're seeing results. Many of those suits have been successful at the very initial stages, even to the point where the Trump administration has conceded that they were violating the law and that they have agreed to settlement terms that would stop the practices. Sadly, there are new issues coming forward every day, so that work is not finished. The Attorney General and all the other Attorney Generals around the country are working day and night to protect our interests as Californians and as Americans. What the federal government is doing in many cases is violently illegal, and we need to do everything that we can to stop that. In addition to the $25 million for the judicial actions, we also provided $25 million in assistance to local community organizations that are protecting immigrant rights. One of the most obvious and really disturbing actions has been the federal government's attack on immigrant families and individuals in our country. And we're doing everything that we can to protect those individuals by making sure they are fully aware of their rights, and that we provide the support services so that people are not vulnerable as best we can. This is a terrible situation, and honestly, the federal government has a lot of authority in the immigration space. States can't actively stop that process, but we can support the people that are feeling victimized, that are really traumatized and terrorized by what's happening. The best, most powerful tool we have will be when we have an election Most recently, we just had one this past November where California voters stood up loud and proud and said, we don't want the federal government to change the electoral process. We don't want them to take away our voices and our rights. And we stood up with Proposition 50 and passed that by almost 65%, sending a very, very strong and clear message to Washington and all the Republicans across the country that people are watching, they're paying attention, they disagree with these policies, and they want to do everything they can to change those. And we will have an election in about a year from now, where members of Congress will be chosen, and I feel like the country is standing up and really expressing itself. But let me talk briefly about what California is trying to do. I'm very, very proud of our state. We have an amazing economy. California is the 4th largest economic power in the world. And we're just a state, we're not a country, but if you took the economic output of the state of California, we would be the 4th largest economic power in the world. We would only be behind the United States, China, and Japan. And that's an extraordinary achievement for a state, let alone a country. And I think that it's not an accident why we have made this economic achievement. It's because, number one, we respect diversity and we respect the contributions that everybody in our society makes to make California successful. The other thing that we do is we invest in education. We have the best higher education system in the world. The California community colleges, the California State University system, and the University of California creates an upward path of mobility that welcomes every student and tries to provide a higher education, a quality higher education for every student. And we try to encourage everybody to take part of that system, and the results speak for itself. We have the highest technology companies in the world. We have more Fortune 500 corporations in California than most countries do in the world. And that economic success is not an accident. It is because generations before us have made smart decisions to invest public dollars in public education, and we are all reaping the benefits of that. And we need to continue to invest in that. And as your representative in Sacramento, that's an extremely high value for me. I vote, to support our education system from kindergarten, pre-kindergarten, all the way through higher education, and I think it pays big dividends. One of the things I was very proud of this last term in the legislature is the chancellor at Allen Hancock College came to me and said there's a gap in our higher education model here in the Santa Maria Valley. Students who would like to stay home and go to college and get a 4-year degree do not have an option here in the Santa Maria Valley. And Allen Hancock College wanted to provide that academic path for students here in the Santa Maria Valley, but they were not allowed to provide 4-year college degrees because they're a community college and their focus is on the first 2 years of education. And I said, well, that's not right, because UC Santa Barbara is a long way away and it's very expensive and it's hard to get in. And Cal Poly up in San Luis Obispo, one of the Cal State University systems, theoretically is more affordable and more accessible, but in reality, that college is far overdrafted and students can't get in. So here in the Santa Maria Valley, we don't have an option for a 4-year degree that's very accessible. So I introduced legislation to change that, to allow Allen Hancock College to carry 4-year degrees. And the legislation got the attention of the administration at Cal Poly, and they said, you know what, we don't want a law that requires us to do that. We want to solve this problem locally by being a partner with Allen Hancock College and providing those 4-year degrees. So let's just work this out. And so I was really pleased. I thought, I don't need to have my name on a bill. I want to solve the problem. I want a solution to this problem. So when Cal Poly came forward and said, we'll provide degrees at Allen Hancock College, we'll use the resources of Cal Poly and bring them to the resources of Allen Hancock, and we'll work this together. And I'm really proud that this fall, that has begun. There's a new program in business management that is underway. The students are enrolled. They're going to get their four-year degree without having to commute out of the community at a very affordable price. And it's, thank you. It's the kind of thing that we're trying to do in Sacramento to make our community better, to bring state resources into the community. I know all of you are doing incredible work, you know, on so many different areas. I was looking at the agenda of tonight's discussion. You've got services for families, you've got homeless services, rental assistance, food assistance. You know, there are so many needs that we have. Even though we are this amazing economic power, that wealth is not evenly distributed. And there are very many families here in the Santa Maria Valley, across all of Santa Barbara County, that are struggling to get by, and we need to help them. And government alone can't do that. That's why we need to partner. This coalition is a great example of how we can work together to leverage the resources of the public nonprofit sector, government, all of the collaboration of volunteers and people and energy to really improve people's lives and give them a better chance to succeed in this wonderful community. You know, when I'm in Sacramento, there are representatives from all over the state of California, from the Oregon border down to San Diego and Nevada. And when I tell them that I represent the Santa Maria Valley and Santa Barbara County, they say to me, "Did you win the lottery or something? That has to be, you know, the best place in the state of California." And I agree, because it really is an incredible place. And it's not just our natural beauty, you know, and the economic opportunities that we have here in the Santa Maria Valley. It's the fact that we care about each other really deeply. And we have a very long tradition of looking out for each other. And I think that's what sets us apart. Santa Barbara County has more nonprofit organizations than any other place in the state of California per capita, and that is not an accident either. That is because people come to this community or stay in this community because they care about other people. It's not just the sunshine and the great weather. It's, you know, a sense of belonging to something that is beautiful and kind and respectful, and it's a wonderful tradition that we have developed here, and it's something that we need to nurture and protect. So my work in California in the state legislature is getting more difficult because of our partnership with the federal government. One of the best examples of that was 2 days after President Trump was inaugurated into office. We had the devastating fires in Los Angeles that, you know, affected hundreds of thousands of people, evacuations, terrible trauma for our neighbors down in Los Angeles. And normally when a president would come to a situation like that, they would come and say, "We're here from the federal government, we're trying to help people, we want to bring assistance from the federal government," and would really try to unite everybody and bring folks together. Sadly, President Trump came to Los Angeles, and his first comments about the situation was, "I'm not sure we're going to give you FEMA assistance until you change your voting process and eliminate mail-in ballots." You know, the idea that those two things would somehow be connected in the moment of a tragedy of that scale is mind-boggling. And I think it says a lot about his personal values and his approach to his job. You know, the job of being president of the United States is to represent all of us and to look out for us as a country. And, you know, that is not what's happening right now. So we will, as I said before, we will have an opportunity to vote and elect elect people to jobs that have a big impact on our community. But I just want to remind you that in California, we do things differently. We lead the country on so many issues. That really is our job here, to push the boundaries of innovation and change and opportunity, and to bring people together to solve problems. And the problems we're all facing together are complicated and difficult, and don't get solved with simple answers. They get solved with hard work and collaboration, which is exactly what this coalition is all about. I am proud to be here with you, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about Sacramento or what we can do together to improve the lives of our neighbors. Thank you very much.